Okay, there is massive celebration in Biafra because the Biafra map have currently changed because a popular king in Igbanke has finally pulled out from Edo State. He's there in Oba of Benin. He said Igbanke is officially now a Biafran state. He said there's nothing like Nigeria, and Nigeria is not, in currently is not in existence. That Biafra now is the way forward, and Biafra is the only light of Africa and Nigeria. That Igbanke now is under Biafra, and a serious argument on social media as regards. What's your take as regards?
I must say a very big thank you for this development, because for what we are seeing, just like we allow our viewers watch the claim shortly, I must say that this is mind blowing. This is totally going to change the landscape of the map of Biafra. There's no argument about that. This has caused serious tsunami of celebration, jubilation across the globe for every lover of freedom. But for what I seen, this monarch having that boldness to confront the Oba of Benin, looking at the Oba of Benin in the face to say, we are not Edo, we are Biafra. I think it's quite encouraging. You know what I mean? Before now, we have a situation where the whole Anioma, talking about the 9 local governments that make up Delta North Central, this is Delta State, come up unanimously to say, we know where we come from. We are from the eastern part of the country, we are Igbos, that is our origin. And that position will stand. But I think it's good we allow our viewers listen to this clip before we further this conversation.
Excellency, my name is Ewure Dr. Julius Seaton, Oba of Igbanke. Igbanke, we are carved into a new state, the same image by our late leaders, Samuel Ogonia, who carved us into a new state. We are a Ka people, Igbo people. We speak Igbo. We don't understand where we are. These are Delta traditional rulers, Delta non-traditional rulers. I move with them, I understand them, I eat with them, I do things common with them. But in my own state or in my own local government, I'm just like a different person entirely. In practice, we are different persons because we don't understand the language, the food is different, the dressing is different, the attitude is different. So, we are here to thank you and to tell you again that there was never a time the civil senator met the local is begging Igbanke to join. We are the one that is disturbing him that he should take us along. As we are lost before, now we want to go back because of opportunity that is out now. That is concerning you. Now we should not miss the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Biafra is in a celebration because an Igbanke king has said they are pulling out from Nigeria and Edo State. The Biafrans accept Igbanke as their own.
Let me just tell you, we cannot be manipulating this thing very clearly. If you remove Igbanke from Edo State, there's nothing like Edo State again. Edo will be too tiny, even to even though it's Igbo. Okay, I'm telling you, Asian land, it's an Igbo land. Wait. I can tell you, I'm telling you. The Bini tribe, let me just tell you, it's made up of Igbo, Igala, Yoruba. So, but the founder of Ikodomi is an Igbo man. And I say it everywhere. Before the infiltration started coming. So it was the Bini as a result of the empirical revelation about themselves that made them to assume the position of an empire. But now, as it stands today, the Igbo man that ruled Bini, Samuel Chinedu Obemudia, is from Igbanke. And he is the one that changed the narration. So many of them, President Dahosa, is from Igbanke. Rema is from Igbanke. prominent people that have, added value and image to Edo State are all Igbanke people. I expected Oba of Benin, if he now that he's under Oni of Ife, that he has no power anymore. That the king of Igbanke has overpowered the Oba of Benin, and they are no longer subjects of the Oba of Benin. Now, with that the Benin people will not have any choice than to join the Biafran struggle, because they operate the same market day like the Igbo people. They operate four market days. Area and from the same way they operate it in Benin, it's the same way they operate it anywhere. Let them forget this. They are the one that created. Yeah, God created it after the war. It was God that planted this identity and crisis in the South today. But thank God for Ned Woko and some great Anioma youths and kings who have stood up and began to champion the Igbo unification. More thanks to General Asabuja. Irrespective of your influence with Asari Kubo and Tombolo, you declared and said it very clearly that in River State, River State people are Igbos, and you are an Igbo man, and you can never deny your identity. God bless you.
Thank you very much. For what the Opa just said, do you think that him putting out from Nigeria, joining Biafra, will finally give them the good governance and freedom that is, wanted by the people of Igbanke?
I will tell you that there is power in number. That is what they're playing out. The more original people who are from Igbo extraction begin to agree and identify where they come from, of course, the better for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra. We have seen in recent time people from Ewure part of River State coming boldly to say we are Igbo. We have seen even a former governor of Delta State, Senator Anioma, saying that you cannot count me out, I'm an Igbo man. Recently, we have seen the senator representing Delta North Senatorial District talking about Senator Ewure making it very clear that Delta North is Igbo. And apart from Senator Ewure, we have seen so many indigenes from that Delta North coming out to say we are Igbo. And I want to tell you that Delta North is the biggest senatorial district in Delta State, with now local governments as against the 8 and 7 in the other 2 senatorial districts. Now that we are seeing a renowned monarch from a market coming out boldly, daring the Oba, looking at him in the face to tell him that we are not Benin, we are Igbo. I think it's encouraging, and this is to encourage other people from other areas who have been shy, who have been facing intimidation, to speak up, because we are in era where if you are bold and face the truth, nothing will happen to you. Because now the government has shown the lead way, even if he have been in Casadia for some time, after he started this agitation, he became like an eye-opener. Even in the face of his incarceration, we have seen a situation where back outside the country, people are already rising to draw support for the actualization of Biafra. We saw one came from a former ambassador from America talking about some back, who came out clearly to say separate the country. And separating the country for me is not a crime as long as it's done within the habits of the law. Because if you look at it clearly, there's a UN charter that talks about self-determination, African charter that talks about self-determination. Nigerian government is already a signatory to these 2 UN charters. So to that extent, it's already a law in Nigerian legal jurisprudence. We have even seen Mike Arnold talking about a former American mayor who have not hidden his intention, making it very clear about the need being done. Because if you look at the activities of the Parudi Fulani headers or bandits, terrorists, whatever nomenclature you choose to use for them, you understand that the activities demand that you should do the needful for the sanctity of human life in Nigeria. Even as we speak, there's a bill in U.S. Congress, co-sponsored by Radical and Chris Smith, talking about American Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026 that seeks to designate Fulani militia of Nigerian extraction as a terrorist group. Even others seek to sanction Biafra. They understand that Biafra is an umbrella body of all the Fulanis, but they seem not to be doing enough to rein in their members who form large part of this terrorist we witness in Nigeria. So for me, the Fulanis are a major problem, a major reason why we are seeing agitation for people trying to secede from the country. And whether I like it or not, these are a formidable and organized criminals. Before even now, global terrorists already know them and recognize them as the fourth most deadliest terrorist group in the world. And the Nigerian government seems not to be having the capacity to address the danger they portend. To the extent that we are not seeing America trying to intervene to solve the problem for us. So why not do the needful for the safety of human life? This is why I even call on the president, talking about Senator Anioma, that if the Fulanis refuse to allow him to do the needful to govern the country in peace, so that people can live harmoniously, he should use the good office to invite world bodies like the UN, European Union, African Union, name it, to come and supervise a referendum, so that people can have their separate ways, and of course, so that there can be sanctity of human life, so that life can be saved. We are getting to a point where even these people, according to the report that is online, even from the southwest, that they even demand for virgins as ransom. So you can see that life has no meaning, life has become valueless because of these people. So to that extent, I'm of the view that if you allow people to decide their destinies by way of self-determination, that lives will be saved. Because if you have Biafra as a nation, maybe you have the Middle Belt as a nation, you have the North, whatever name they choose to go by as a nation, they do as a nation, they can now sit down and decide how to structure their own security arrangement, how to police the environment. But all currently is not sufficient to police the environment. A situation where the Fulanis, after they get havoc, they go into hiding. And the authorities seem to be lacking the capacity to bring it to book. So for me, I believe that it is time the government should look into the right direction of self-determination.
Okay, but do you not think why the Igbanke monarch or the king is so, aggressive as regards pulling out from Nigeria is because the people in Igbanke cannot go to farm, the insecurity, the economy of Nigeria is not working, and he's saying the only means where we can get peace, where we can get, good life, where our children can go to school peacefully, where farmers can go to farm peacefully, is by joining Biafra. Just like what Nnamdi Kanu have been saying, that Nigeria may never work again. Do you attest to that fact?
I must agree with you that the insecurity occasioned by the Fulani militias or terrorists, whichever name we choose to call them, is at alarming stage. There's no argument about that. And that there's every need for the authorities to checkmate the activities. But whether we like it or not, the government have a right, a duty to protect lives and property of Nigerians. But unfortunately, they have not been able to do this. If the military, like I explained the other time, can be falling prey of these terrorists, if they can become so vulnerable that a military base can be attacked, you agree with me that the safety of life and property is not guaranteed under this administration. So in this circumstance, the best thing to do is look inward, bring everybody on board without politics. Let's discuss. Is it better we part ways? Mr. A, B, C, D, whichever number we are dividing the country, look at ways you can police your people. That does not mean they cannot be inter-trade. That cannot mean that commerce and industry cannot happen between countries. After all, as we have it, Nigeria still have trade and industry with other parts of the world. So for me, it is the best approach to make sure that the sanctity of human life is preserved. Because even in the face of the danger the Fulani terrorists protect, you see some of their leaders come out diplomatically to start supporting them, asking federal government to use non-kinetic approach to fight them, asking government to go and negotiate them. A very clear example is Shegumi, who has never hidden his intention, who even came out openly, clearly to acknowledge Tinubu's administration to stop every collaboration with the American government. So I begin to wonder, as somebody who is as enlightened as he is, coming out openly, clearly, to tell government to stop collaboration with American government and to start negotiating with terrorists, I will tell you that it is not acceptable. For me as a person, what I desire is that let us as a people, as a country, acquire monopoly of currency power to smoke the terrorists out of their hiding places, set them running and bring them to justice. As far as I'm concerned, there is no business why terrorists should be holding territories. Because non-state actors have no business holding territories. What makes government ultimate is the ability to possess monopoly of currency power. But unfortunately, that monopoly of currency power is what Nigerian government is sharing with these non-state actors. I must say this is unacceptable.
Okay, thank you very much.